Forging a Karambit from a tiller point. Part 1, William Hovey Smith, 2019. In this video, we're going to show several things. One, we are going to show how to build a punch. Two, we're going to do the initial shaping on our Karambit blade. And three, we're going to show the startup of a charcoal forge using a porta-cable shop vac as a variable air supply source. I'm the owner of a knife company where we looked back at ancient Chinese knives from 3,000 years ago that were made out of bronze, and we use these as inspiration to make modern cooking knives out of carbon and stainless steels. I'm also an author of some 18 books, including my most recent business book, Create Your Own Job Security, that advocates that you start your own business anytime, anywhere, any place you need to do it to raise whatever kind of money you need to raise, and takes you exactly through every step you need to take. My latest project is a novel, Father of the Grooms. And in this novel, a family of Sicilian origin goes to Sicily to seek brides for their two sons. Well, there are some mix-ups and changes up, and it involves very much the Sicilian mafia. And one of the members of the mafia, who is the grandfather of one of the prospective brides and the uncle to another, is very enamored with knives. He has been the past enforcer of the mob, and because of a recent shake-up, he's come back to actually be the acting head of the family. On our Karambit knives that we have started on, we have, as you can see, made some changes in the profile already. We've removed some steel from here. We've also used a punch to enlarge this hole to this size. But the configuration of the knife still needs some help. Now on the tiller, as you can see, the blade is actually on this side, whereas on the Karambit, it's actually here. So when we get through with this knife, it'll actually be a double-edged knife. This is a prop knife. It's being built for one of my characters in my novel, namely Luigi the Claw, who is a mafia enforcer and is particularly enamored with ancient and older designs of knives. And hence, he uses these as weapons of terror and intimidation. And indeed, when I get through with this, that's exactly what it will be. So what we're going to do is take the angle grinder and relieve it down to these holes and come up here like this. And see if we can work out enough room to make it comfortable to hold while still preserving the shape of the steel. You've got the knife hilt in the middle of the flame, and we're going to let it get good and hot. And then we're going to try to open up the ring with our punch there. And then we're going to immerse it in cold ash to let it cool, and so we can drill it and actually put some holes to mount the scales in. It did enlarge the hole. Not large enough, but it did enlarge the hole. And this is how our profile knives are coming right at the moment. And so, yeah, that's a partial success. But, except for a relic, no, I'll make another and do a better job of it. And I'll do it all on this forge. I'm using the angle grinder to remove steel from the handle, so I can move the ring more nearly to its proper position so a finger can go through it. We now have the profile of the handle looking something like a karambit, and now I'm going to take the Dremel tool and yaw out the finger hole and make it more nearly so it'll fit my finger. Because the piece will actually be grasped like this. And the key to a karambit is having that handle a comfortable fit. If the handle doesn't fit comfortably and move easily in the hand, then it's not, irregardless to what you do with the blade, it's not very worthwhile as a weapon. We're getting ready to fire up the charcoal forge again. And a couple of things. If you have big hunks of charcoal, this is probably all right, but go ahead and break them up. And if you have a hunk that's this big and it doesn't break up with the fingers, then it's not completely charcoal, because your charcoal should break, you know, like that. I've got some small wood fragments in here. This is just something I use to help start the fire. So we'll go ahead and light. And for the first time, we're going to use our new shop vac and the variable control feature on it. So, get things started good here. And this is on the lowest speed setting. Show me a cold forge that gets started this fast. That's ready to put steel on. It's actually getting a little too hot, so I'm going to open the damper door a little bit. That allows me two ways to regulate the airflow. Okay, that's looking about right. Go ahead and put the knife in I made a new hole punch. The last one I made is probably about the ugliest blacksmithing implement ever. And I pounded it on the side here so there are actually some flats. And so that gave a very irregular hole. Now what I'm going to do is when it gets up to heat, use this as a top guide, put the knife in and actually push it down here until we get down to the full round ring. It's up to temperature. That was right fast, by the way. It was very easily done. I also want to bend it a little bit in this direction. Okay, that's going to take another heat. But we accomplished that objective. This part we'll work on the anvil. The steel should be ready. Now we have it actually bent. I'm now seeing if we can get that steel up to forged welding temperature. The small rod is, but that 1-inch bar is taking a lot of time to heat up. What happens. Looks like it's about as tight as it's going to get, so I'm going to heat it one more time and then quench it in oil. That harden it. I used the leftover heat to melt some wax in my wood dipping pan and also to help clean up and condition my cooking sheet for the year. Our wax is now well melted, and now we can use the shop vac on reverse to clean off the porch. Lining up the blade we're working on, or the Karambit, with the original tiller point, you can see how far we've departed. We've considerably enlarged the hole here, and of course we did that in stages, the last of which you just saw. And we have also bent the piece over this way to allow for a better grip of the hand and a more natural fit. On our punch, we've taken it and we put it under a wire brush and brush this part, and then on a sander and Scotch-Brite wheel and polish the actual punch end. So that is ready to do work. On the previous one we couldn't get it tight, but this doesn't wiggle. So we're doing good there. So I'm just going to put a coat of wax on this, and now that is done. And we're going to start actually grinding on these edges. These are a few of the knife patterns that we produce at Hovey's Knives of China. Now, Luigi the Claw, our enforcer figure that I mentioned earlier, after World War II, spent some time with American archaeologists. He was working as a young guy, 10, 12, 13 years old, and they were doing salvage excavations in Sicily after the war. And that's where he became very much enamored with ancient cultures and ancient blades. In the next video, I'm going to grind the edges, drill holes for the grip, sand this blade, and temper the steel. This knife, as it is being built, is illegal in many countries and in some U.S. states and cities. For more information on my books, blogs, and more than 750 videos, or make a donation, go to my website, www.hoveysmith.com. To find out more about Hovey's Knives of China, go to www.hoveysknivesofchinablog.co. To read my new novel, Father of the Grooms, chapter by chapter as I actually write it, you can go to fatherofthegrooms.net. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless.